What's up, Transformers fans? I'm Mondo, the Dead Bottomist Prime himself, and welcome to week 29 of Moonbase 84's year-long celebration celebrating 40 years of Grimlock and the Dinobots. And for this week, we're going to be taking a look at another figure of the King himself, and this time it is the Transformers Cyberverse Deluxe class Grimlock. In the Cyberverse cartoon, Grimlock had an interesting depiction, especially compared to other iterations of Grimlock, where in robot mode he was very refined and sophisticated, liking the finer things in life. And then when he transformed into T-Rex mode, he became the angry beast that we know Grimlock to be. And I think that was a very interesting depiction, something I don't want to see continue, but for that show I thought it was pretty cool. So let's take a closer look at the figure of Hasbro's take and Transformers' take on having an Incredible Hulk style character. Taking a closer look at Grimlock, bring him up for get a closer look. He does come with an accessory, his flame effect that doubles as like a sword, and his crown. He can't be the king without a crown. So to take a closer look, we'll remove those. The sword, the flame sword, is just translucent orange. And then here's his little crown. Pretty cool. And as for Grimlock himself, he looks very much like his animation model in Cyberverse. Liking that Grimlock head. This time he doesn't have like the faceplate or battle mask. You get some nice blue in the eyes. I always like the style where he has like these shoulder mounted weapons, and you can see they're painted red and black, which is cool. You got the traditional yellow or some, oftentimes gold Grimlock chest with a nice crisp Autobot symbol, some painted gray. Not as much, there is sculpt work, but not as much as, some other Grimlocks, because it's evoking the show, obviously, and it was much cleaner. Of course, you got his, flip that to where his dino hands, or his dino feet, his dino hands in yellow. Some nice yellow at the feet, on the side. And of course, the traditional T-Rex head rests on the back with the little wings. So yeah, a really nice little Grimlock, and matches what we want it to be, like what the show is. Articulation, his head does swivel. It looks up quite a bit. That's nice. Get closer here. Looks down, not so much. No tilt really, but nice swivel. Unfortunately, because of the thickness of the shoulders and the weapons on the top, his arm doesn't really spread out far, but it does rotate. And you got the ball, doesn't make 90 at the elbow, but swivels. No wrist, but he does have a waist. He can do the splits just about all the way, kick forward, kick back. Knee bend, not quite to 90. His ankles do pivot this way, and they do the rocker. So a tad bit of restrictions on his articulation, but these were the lower price point for kids deluxe class figures. But so what we get for that price point is okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and transform Grimlock up into T-Rex mode, and we will take a closer look at that. And here we have Cyberverse Deluxe class Grimlock all transformed up into T-Rex mode. And again, a nice representation of how he looked in the show. And we will take a closer look. I find it interesting that in T-Rex mode, he does have more sculpted details. He's not as clean as he is in robot mode when it comes to sculpt. Again, that's the character model, but I just think it's interesting how we get a lot more like techie sculpted details, armor plating, and stuff like that. You got this nice blue eye for T-Rex eyes, yellow teeth, some painted yellow teeth, little painted T-Rex hands, and the feet again. Some yellow there, again, some more of that nice detail. Plain on the tail on this side for paint wise, but some nice sculpt. But on this side, you get the little spikes, all in yellow. So yeah, really nice little T-Rex mode. Articulation, he's quite limited. Sadly, his dino arms don't do anything. He does have a opening, closing jaw, If you break transformation, you can make him look down, but again, that breaks transformation. Nothing else there. Nothing really in the tail. Everything is locked. His dino legs do rotate and go out maybe that far. They do rotate here, but not really a knee bend, because the bend for the elbows, when they're elbows in robot mode, go this way, unfortunately. His toes do wiggle. But yeah, pretty nice looking, but limited when it comes to articulation, but still looks kind of cool. He can wear his crown in T-Rex mode like a proper king should. It's a matter of figuring out which way it plugs in. I always have trouble getting it to plug in. Maybe, oh, like that. Maybe if I looked a little harder. So there he is with his crown. That's really funny. And you can take what was his fire sword, and you can open the mouth, and you can see there's a port in there. You can port it in, and now you have Grimlock breathing fire as a Grimlock should. All in all, the Cyberverse Deluxe Grimlock is a fun little toy, even with limitations, especially in articulation. You have to remember that the Cyberverse line was aimed at kids, and by all accounts, from what I've seen so far, the Cyberverse kid line is going to overall prove to be a much better toy line than the Cyber World toy line, because this is what they were offering kids. I mean, the Cyberverse line did have a lot of gimmicky, junky kind of figures, but they also had some nice deluxes that I find quite fun, and some nice warrior classes that I find that are quite fun as well. So yeah, even though the limitations, it's a lower price point. Even though he is a deluxe, he's not a Generations deluxe. So I really like this Cyberverse Grimlock. Now this deluxe Cyberverse Grimlock was also retooled to be the deluxe Earthspark Grimlock, and I gotta say I do like the retooled Earthspark Grimlock better. He's just more fun. He articulates a little bit better, especially in robot mode. And overall I just like him better, and I like that aesthetic better. So kind of biased on how Earthspark Grimlock looked, but still, this is a great little Grimlock figure that can be like, you know, they make good little desk figures where you can fiddle around with them. I just prefer the Earthspark retool better. With that being said, comment and let me know what you think of the Deluxe Cyberverse Grimlock here. And as always, thanks for docking.